Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Katarina and I own a small embroidery business. Last week on my Instagram, I did create a poll on what you guys would like to see in this week's YouTube video, and a lot of you voted for how I started an embroidery business with zero experience. So today we're gonna break it down a little bit. I do get very distracted when I talk to the camera or when I'm telling a story to a friend. So this video might be a little bit choppy because I'll just have to edit out my rants, basically. But basically how I started an embroidery business is that one day I was scrolling through TikTok, as one does, and I ran into a video of an embroidery machine and I had my mind blown. I did not know that this existed or that that was a thing, and I went into like a rabbit hole of researching everything that needed to be researched about it. I went through TikTok, I went through YouTube, and I just looked up all of the videos, and in basically 48 hours I already had my business name, the mission, what machine I wanted, where I would buy my blanks, and all of these things figured out. And I was very impulsive and I just bought my first embroidery machine. But a little backstory into this: I have always wanted to start my own business. My issue was I never knew what I wanted to make. I was always a crafty person. I like doing things with my hands. I like doing arts and crafts and things like this. I embroidered my wedding shoes, which I loved doing because they were my wedding shoes, but one, it took forever, and two, it like hurt my fingers. So I could never picture doing embroidery, like hand embroidering, full time. So when I ran into this video, it was just kind of perfect. But basically there's a few things that I think that you should know if you're thinking about starting an embroidery business, or what I followed to start my own embroidery business with zero experience. The first was niching down. When I started my embroidery business, I knew that I wanted to do it bookish, like a bookish embroidery. I wanted to make bookish designs because I love sweaters and I love books. So I wanted to combine those two things together and make designs for people who loved books just like me. So the first thing that I did was like, okay, well, if I started this embroidery business, what designs would I start off with? And I created 5 designs to start off with, and I think 5 is a really good number. I wouldn't go past that. I would just try to come up with 5 the most, I would say. So I created my 5 designs and I was like, okay, I'm gonna create these 5 designs, and this one's gonna be in this color, this one's gonna be in that color, this one's gonna be in this color, and this. Anyways, I put a color for each one, and I started like that. Very simple. When you create designs for an embroidery, if you're doing your own designs, you have to send it out to a digitizer to be able to create it into a file that will go with your embroidery machine. And all I did is I went on Fiverr, which you can employ freelancers, and I sent a person. I looked at the reviews, and this person had great reviews on digitizing designs. And I sent them my 5 designs and they sent it back right away. It was like very fast, very easy, and it was good. So that was it, niching down and designs. The second thing that I looked at was my machine. And I YouTubed a bunch of videos on machines, and the majority of them, they had all one thing in common, and it was basically only buy a machine with the biggest hoop that you can afford. Because you don't want to go crazy and buy a huge expensive machine and then you don't even like embroidering, and you don't want to do this full time, and now you're stuck with a big machine that it's kind of harder to sell. So what I went for was the Brother PE 800. It was very popular when I started, and it's a great starter machine. For me, on Amazon, it cost $850. I started with one. I ended up at one point having 4 of these machines, and my other 3 ones, I got them on Facebook Marketplace for I think $400 the most. So my recommendation is that if you're starting or you're interested in starting, look at Facebook Marketplace and see if there's any around you. They work exactly the same and they're great priced, so I would do that first. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and catch my breath. There's a lot of talking. Okay, so now that we have our niche, we have our machine, the other thing I wanted to look for was the blanks. Where would I buy my blanks? How far away is it? And how many of each would I buy, basically. When I was first starting out, it was in October, and it was nice fall weather, so I wanted to start with sweaters. And if you're just starting out, I would start off with one thing first. Make sure that your concept works. Make sure that this is something that you want to do before diversifying into other products. So I started with sweatshirts, crew neck sweatshirts, and I started with the G180 sweatshirt from Gildan. It's a really nice sweater for the price point, and everybody loves it. All of my reviews say how soft and nice it is on the inside, and it's an amazing sweater to start off with. I think in the future it will be upgrading to a different quality sweater, but for now that one is a really good starter point, and it's a very popular one as well. So I looked up warehouses around me, and I found that there's an Alpha Broder an hour away that sells Gildan sweaters, and I can go there in person when I have these last minute orders that I need right away. So that's always something good to consider, seeing if there's a warehouse by you. To start off with, I think I started with 5 different color options, and I purchased maybe 5 different colors, but I bought them in my size. And I went a little oversized. I'm a medium, and I bought larges so that I could try them on and basically model them for my website and for all of these things to have product pictures to promote, and then go from there. After I saw that they were selling and that I was doing good, I bought 5 of each in each size, if that makes sense. So I wanted to offer a large variety of sizes. I went from a small to a 3XL, so I had 6 different sizes, and I would stock up 5 of each. I don't recommend that anymore. I think if you have them easily accessible, you can go as low as just 2 of each color in each size, and that would work out perfect. Or if it's easily ready for you, then I would just buy however many you think you need to do your product pictures and stuff, and then see how busy you are and how many sweaters in each color you get, if that makes sense. So you really don't have to start big. I would just do a few of each size in each design or in each color, and that's it. Okay, let's see. The next thing that I needed was materials for all of these things. If you see up here, I have these 2 little boards. One of them actually came with one of the machines that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace, so I didn't even buy that one separately. But this one on this side is the one that I purchased at the very beginning. When you're just starting out, you kind of want to play out with, colors and what you like and all of these things. So I bought a variety of colors to start off with. That way I could see, like, okay, this design I wanted in this color, and this design I want in this color. It's nice to have a color range available when you're starting off so that you can choose what you like. And then after that, I was able to be like, okay, now all of these designs are going to be in this color, so I will buy the bigger spool of that color, if that makes sense. But at the beginning, when you're starting off, you want to have options. So that's kind of what I got. I'll go ahead and link all of the materials and things down in the description below. That way you guys can just click through there and go for it. So I got thread. The other thing that I got was stabilizer, so I'll link that as well. And I got a basting adhesive because I started embroidering with what is it called? What do they call it? A floating technique. I started embroidering with a floating technique, which is basically you don't put the hoop around the sweater, you just put it on top of you put the sweater on top of the hoop, and then it'll embroider. If you guys want a little tutorial on the Brother P800, just let me know in the comments down below, and I can probably do a little tutorial on how I started embroidering and things like that. Other than thread, stabilizer, and then basting adhesive, I think that is all the materials that I needed to actually embroider. But to start the business, I also needed materials for shipping costs. All of these things I learned on YouTube University again. It is just things that you're gonna have to research and go from there. If you'd like any detailed explanation on any of these things, I would be more than happy to go over them with you guys, but there's so many resources out there on YouTube. But for shipping materials, I got like a label printer, which I got like a thermal label printer. It's amazing. It's a lifesaver. You don't have to buy any ink for it. It's just thermal printing. Then I got shipping labels, and I also got these bags that I could pack my sweaters in. Those were the three things I started off with. I think I also got these little round stickers for the same printer. So it's like a thermal printer, but I got these little circular stickers for, basically I put on each of my bags that I ship out, I put cozy things inside. It's just a cute little touch on top of that. So that was good. And when I first started out, I was actually printing my thank you cards at home, and all I did was print out, basically, I printed out, I think it just said threaded comforts on the front. These were on index cards, by the way. I went to Walmart and purchased like a pack of index cards for like $2, and then I would just print threaded comforts, like the logo on the front, and on the back I think it said thank you, thank you, thank you, and I would write down like a handwritten note saying thank you for your purchase and thank you so much for like supporting my small business. And it was like the start of this journey. It was really cute, but then when I got like extremely busy, that was like very realistic to write an individual thank you card for each order. But that's how we started with index cards. Now I purchased them on, I forget the name of the website, but I'll link it down below. I purchased my thank you cards from this website anyways. And yeah, what else? Okay, so to summarize it, we have the machine, we have the niching down on your niche, on things that you like. We have the blanks, we have the materials, we have the shipping labels, and that is it, I think. If I had to give any advice, is just really watch YouTube videos. That helps me a lot. I just YouTubed like how to embroider on a Brother P800 and started like that. It was a lot of trial and error, so don't get discouraged. I was thinking like, you know, it's gonna be easy. I'm not gonna have many screw ups. I have a bin, like a bin, yay big, like big bin. I think I have maybe 2 bins, basically of mess ups. Like my machine made holes in these sweaters, and you think it can't happen to you. It definitely does happen to you. It's a learning curve just like anything else. And I have so many sweaters where I created holes in them. It stitched over and basically stitched the sweater together. So I had to like cut it open. I have sweaters that like the embroidery shows up in the top, so I never sold them. There's just a lot of trial and error, but it does get easier and it is really fun. I've had this business now for almost a year, which is crazy to think of. I guess not almost a year. We're about to be in August, and I have had it since I started the whole thing in September, really. Like I started the thought of it and I created the name back in September of last year. So yeah, almost a year, which is nuts. But it's really, really fun, and I have had a blast through it. It's definitely a lot of trial and error. I think the other thing that I forgot to mention was a website. When I first started, I just had a Shopify, and it's been really easy to set up. And again, I just looked on YouTube and I was like, how to create a Shopify website, and I just did it step by step, and it was great. Now I have a Shopify and a TikTok shop. TikTok shop is great. I do recommend it, but it's hard to keep up with. They only give you 2 business days to fulfill your orders, so just keep that in mind. If you're just starting off and you're not that busy, it's a great place to start because they basically advertise a lot of it for you. So it's really easy to reach people through there. Shopify, you kind of have to send your people to your Shopify website, if that makes sense. It's a little harder to reach. But I have both and they both work great. And yeah, I don't know what else to say or how to like sign this off, other than if you're starting and you have any questions at all whatsoever, just feel free to comment below and I'll answer as many as I can. And it is so much fun and you guys got this. And I hope I didn't rant too long. I hope this video was short, sweet, informational, and go out there and get it.